At you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed, and highly favored, and I definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown, extended, beautiful family, just thank you so much for the love and support. As we continue to keep going down our path and learning and being open of to knowledge and power and magic that grows in us, by the minute, allowing yourself to be open towards anything the universe is trying to give to you. So, with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you are comfortable enough, please drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. Even if it's about the positive feedback of the content of my video, or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life, and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are very informative, uplifting, and give you good vibes that you can share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that are going through trying times and need um, spiritual guidance or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path, and even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's so greatly appreciated. And I hope that you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And the music that I'm listening to in the background is called um, 528 hertz, destroy all negativity, restore mental clarity, peace of mind music for meditation and healing. And I will post that link in the description box below. And the video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101. Heyoka is your gift of Qawaq. Comes stronger, giving understanding of everything you come into contact with. Um, Quake is shamanic. Let me see. It was like Quake Shahan. Um, Word for empaths that have the gift of being able to have the ability of experiencing, basically reading the living energy. I was doing that either last week or either earlier this no, it was either earlier this week or last week. I was talking about that since it was like that situation happened with my sister, it like it just basically made my gifts catapult, and then another gift switched on. I told y'all, when you're going through the midst of something that's very traumatizing to you and very stressful, it tends to, I guess it's like with all the energy that's building up when you're going through something that's very overwhelming, it kind of like it's like that fail safe of a switch that pops on, your gift. You end up having another gift that pops on that's been laying dormant for a long time, and then it heightens the other gifts that's already been using. And now it's just like there's a lot of times I can feel people um about the energy they carry, but now it's like it's allowing me to step into their shoes if they need that assistance. It allows me, it's just like anybody saying, how would you know what I go through? If you walk in my shoes, you wouldn't even be able to take one step. Well, that actually happened because it was just like I didn't know what the word was for it, because I was just getting me some thumbnails um for different pictures, that I use for my videos. I try to switch them up a little bit. And it was, I was looking up, beautiful empath images. And it was like showing different things that, we struggle with as, as individuals of being empaths, how we have a deeper understanding with the things around that surround us within the world, or even connection with other people that we come in contact with. And it's like you'll be able to be experiencing that energy, you'll be able to read it. And it's just like with that, when it gets stronger, a lot of times it will give you little snippets of the things they're going through. You can see what they're going through, and at times you can feel exactly what's going on. Because it was like some people I recently connected with, if I'm helping them, and it's like a lot of times now I'm having to take more time out for self care now since I'm doing that. And it's like I love to be able to do that to be able to help people, but I had to allow myself to know how to curve and turn that off, because it's like when I'm dealing with that person, being able to break it down like, okay, this is what's taking place in your life, this is why it's happening, and this, that, and the third about what you're having issues with is because of this is happening. And it gives somebody that clarity, that peace of mind, even though it might be very overwhelming or stressful about what's taking part in your life, but at least you know what you're dealing with. And it's just like a lot of people have that gift, but a lot of people don't may not realize what it is, or many people just don't talk about it. As either or. But it's just like they're along the path that we're going through it. The more we connect to it and along, is we're not fighting the inevitable. You're being open for guidance, for wanting to understand your gifts, wanting to be able to understand how it works, what takes place, what's the good side, what's the pros and the cons about these daggone gifts you have. And it's like at times it was somebody I was connecting with. I'm not giving up the info, because I tell y'all it's like very confidential. So it's like whatever that person's element is, and I've been doing this since I was younger, and I didn't realize what that was. And a lot of times we as empaths have gifts that we do things naturally, that we just think is normal when we do it. But then it's just like when you see that a lot of people can't do that, or a lot of people got to study the stuff that comes to us natural. Some people envy us of that, because you don't really have to study for it. It's just like you either concentrate or you become come into contact with certain people and certain things, and allows you to have that inside information about what is going on in that person's life. And but it's just like you tend to feel everything that they're going through, and it's been very sensitive for me. And I have to allow myself to, like, hey, curve that, get out of that, because a lot of times I don't like that unless somebody's asking me to do that. Because sometimes it's like I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm trying to violate their privacy, because I feel like if we're connecting in that level and I'm helping you along your path, I want to give you that opportunity of what you want me to know. I will know. I don't want to feel like I'm tapping into you and I'm like violating your thoughts, your experiences, because I really feel that's very sacred. I don't like dealing with stuff like that. I try to tell people, hey, if you give me that open line permission, then that's fine. But there's a lot of times the more you use your gifts, the stronger they get, and a lot of times you have to see the side effects for it. And it's like with me, that's why I've been telling people, when you hit me up, I always tell you I don't mind, because it's like I don't want people to think I'm being wishy-washy with them, but it's way everything is really heightened with me. All I just ask is like, hey, you hit me up and say, hey, Roslynn, how are you doing? Are you okay? I need to, talk to you about these things. That's all I just ask, because I don't want to sit up here and make it seem like you're texting me and I'm ignoring you. That's not what it is. But it's like y'all are going through very intense transitions, and it can be confusing as well, scary, especially if you're not used to these things, because it will make you feel like you're questioning your mental state. So I just ask people, please ask me if I'm open to discussing something at that time. Don't just like, well, Rosalind, I got this and this and this that issue, and I got this, because it's gonna make me draw back from you. Because I'm just like, Dag, just ask me if I'm up for that, at that time, because I'm really not trying to be vibing with somebody, and I'm allowing, trying to get myself to recharge, as well as basically cleanse myself for the vibrations that I just gave to somebody, because I don't want that situation of where I'm still carrying that, and I'm still trying to flush it out my system, and then you invade that, and then you end up not just having your situation, but you're going to have my situation plus that other person that you don't even know about situation. So I just always ask people, I don't mind you hitting me up on the times that I say, but allow you, when you have something to discuss with me, please ask me if I'm open for discussing anything with you right there, or do I have a time to do that? Because a lot of times, I understand people could be overwhelmed and they really need assistance. I get it, I understand. But for me, that's all I ask, do it at certain times, unless you're overseas. I understand, because I have dealt with a lot of people in Germany. I deal a lot of people in Australia, Japan, as well as Iraq and Syria, all those different places that have big time gaps. So, I always tell them, hey, I'll hit you back up as soon as I possibly can. Because I know a lot of times y'all are like 7 to 8 hours difference. Or even I got friends in Scandinavia. So there's a lot of people that I talk to. but it's like in a big gap. And I always just ask people, hey, or even if I know I'm texting at that time and it's like spirit wants me to go back and tell, like, hey, such and such need to know this, when you let them know, because I know they've been, needing that confirmation. So can you send that? And I just go what, universe asks me to go, or when spirit needs to tell me that, and I'll go ahead and pass it as soon, and I tell people, hey, I don't know what time it is there, and I do apologize, but hey, something was told me to tell you to pass this on to you, and they end up getting it. So you have to allow yourself to really understand your gifts, because right now we're all going through these different changes, and when you're allowing yourself to let the change take place, and at times it's hard to do that, especially if you whatever you're trying to heal from, because it's like you're already dealing with intense situations because of whatever you had to experience just to be on your spiritual journey. Because a lot of times it is like a shock value, whether it was somebody, your family member died, or you've been molested, or you've been going through a toxic abuse, or you're going through a divorce, or you're going through homelessness, all those different things. And I understand you're dealing with a lot, but that's that thing that is going to get you on that shock value. I'm like, God, no, can you just, but there's, at times I'm like, why can't you just do it when we're not stressed out? Why would you wait for us to go through a certain trauma for this to happen? And it's just like, well, universe says, well, if you're having a good day, are you going to actually listen to somebody say, hey, this is your gift and this and this and that? No, you're not going to do that. So a lot of times you got to wait until you're all up in your feelings about something. You're really going through some very dark stuff at that time, because it's like a lot of times, I remember when I first was doing it, what is the year before last, I was going through dark night of the soul, kundalini, and ascension all at one time, on top of me heightening my gifts. Because it's like anybody who's been with me that long, and it's like I had purple bumps all over the place. It looked like, I don't rub daggone skin with daggone Barney. It was just really bad, because I was like, y'all, look at this. And it's like if I scratch it, it was burning. Like, it was really bad. But it's like going through all these different things. It's a blessing, but at times it can be a curse, because you're feeling everything that person is feeling. You are experiencing whatever kind of pain and stuff they're going through, because there's, as us being empaths, and, you're a spiritual being living a human experience, you still carry, your spiritual attributes, so it's like when you're in a human body, it tends to, people, a lot of empaths has either had major back issues, especially from the lower back until the lower back, and especially in between your shoulder blades. I always tell people, when it starts itching and it has that like pinch pain in between your shoulder blades, it's because your body is missing your wings. And people are like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, it might sound crazy, but you have to think about it. You're somewhat of an earth angel. Before you came here, you had wings. Like, you were big, like Godzilla big, and then you had to get in this little bitty body, and then you're dealing with all this weight on you. And it's just like, you're, it's just like anything that we did was always telepathic. So a lot of times is a lot of times we get those headaches, because you're so used to getting things. It's like if the enemy's there, the way they used to communicate was through here. They didn't always have to talk. You can just look at somebody and be like, oh, okay, and just keep it moving. And a lot of times I see how, y'all are portal jumping. And it's like you're remembering things from when you were that spiritual being. And at times it's kind of hard, to actually take place. When you wake up, a lot of times you don't remember your dreams, but it's like during the day, it'll bring little snippets around you for you to remember, like, oh, dang, that's what happened. I remember having this dream about that, and it's getting very intense with everybody, going through these things. So it's just like the more you go down your spiritual, your path, and more you're allowing yourself to be open to the knowledge that's being sent to you, you're connecting with others. So it's like when you're connecting with other empaths, you're basically, juicing each other up in a powerful way. So a lot of times it's like when you're learning stuff off of this person, they're learning off of you. So it's just like a lot of times, I love bugs from, when they hit me up on the side, they send me a lot of stuff, or they give me their meaning of deeper views that they do. And I was like, I'm happy for that, because it allows me, as well as you're learning off of me and you're appreciating what I have to tell you, you're coming back and doing the same thing to me. And I always feel like, I don't want nobody to ever think I'm being arrogant, I'm being conceited. I'm a very humble person, regardless of who I'm related to. I'm a very humble person. Shoot, my dad even act like he's the, he was the, the guy next door. And it allows me to love what I do, and at times I've gotten to that point where, I used to always ask God, why does everything got to be so intense? Can I just do this without having to be dealing with this heaviness? And it's like, no, if you're going to be willing to help somebody and you're wanting to send them guidance, you can't really give them that unless you have experienced it to a heightened thing. So they're making me use they're assisting me, they guided me. I don't want to feel like, they put a gun up to my head, because they really didn't. I had to experience the things that I experienced, had to be able to use my experiences to help other people look at what they have going on in their life, being able to give that part of you saying it makes sense that other people are going through the same thing I do, because this is a very scary situation you can go through, especially if you don't understand what you're going through, and it was just like, if I really want to be thinking about how far, because people ask me, Roslynn, when did you start your spiritual awakening? And I said, shoot, if you quiet as this cat, I started going through this mess like probably around 2004, 2005. But it was like, it got really bad right after my mom died, because I seen a lot of things I was having night terrors off of the things that I seen about my mom, because it was like, if I wasn't stressed thinking about, is anybody touching my kids, is anybody hurt my kids, I had to go 150 miles every day, for like going close to almost a month to 2 months, to go back and forth to go see my mom every day, because if it wasn't, I was stressed out about my mom, because my mom had a stroke to the point where she couldn't talk. So we had to do little communications, like, blinking and popping your mouth, and certain things has happened. Or do you understand what I'm saying? And then when I come back, I'm having to call my daughters every other hour and say, hey, are you okay? Are the people being nice to you? Are they treating you okay? I never wanted, for me to be one place and somebody else got hurt. That was always on my mind. So I was just like a bundle of nerves. So it's just like, if I really want to think about when I went on my spiritual journey, it was right when my mom had died, and I really thought something was wrong with me, because I had to constantly go back to my doctor, and I said, I feel like I'm going through a stigmata situation. And he was like, what do you mean? You're like, are you okay? And I said, no, my mom right now is in her terms of transition. So everything that, all her ailments, I'm feeling all her ailments. And he said it could be, because he wasn't, my doctor wasn't spiritually in tune like that. So it's just like, you may be so wrapped up in that situation, you're carrying that pain, like you know which situation she's in and what hurts her, what's not, that you can be able to feel that too if you're that, close to her. So it was just like, when I look at the things that I go through now and how I experienced things back then, it was like that situation was preparing me to what I was, because it was like I had visions of my mom passing away and did not realize what that was. It was like 2 or 3 months before she transitioned, and I kept telling my mom, I keep having these dreams. It's like heaven on one side, hell on the other. And it kind of looked like Constantine. If anybody ever seen that, it's like when you see Los Angeles, and then when he had committed suicide, it went from, regular Los Angeles to hell Los Angeles. And that's how it was, is that, things on both sides. And my mom was smack dead in the middle. And I kept on trying to grab her hand, and I said, don't leave me. And, somebody picked her up. Then it looked like Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore. It's like all you see is all these people behind her. And I kept seeing this person tell her to come on, and it wouldn't let me know who that person was. I couldn't see him. I didn't understand the voice because it was very distorted. And my mom's best friends that was there with me, and it was crazy. Right when she went through that, the main best friends that was in my dreams was the ones that was helping me, and then her friend, she had when my mom collapsed at church, she was ushering, because I was very mad at church. Like, why would you have her do that? And I guess she knew something was going to happen that day, because I know she stayed up with me that late at night, and we always used to stay up until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And And then she kept on saying her head hurt, and she is usually, it's her legs because she had peripheral artery disease, PAD. And then she had fluid around her heart, and that was like she had stents put in and all that stuff. So, and she kept on saying my head hurt and I need to go to church. I'm like, Mom, if your head hurts, why don't you stay home, or, I'll come get you and you can come over here with me. And she said no, she wanted to be at church. And I think she knew because I was taking her to, to the doctors for like, 2 and 3 days a week. And she would never allow me to go in there with her. And the doctor said, "Do you want her to come in here?" She was like, "No." I'm like, "Where are you getting all this? Why are you getting jazzy for?" And didn't realize, they were talking about her stages on what she was going to do, because she knew uh, she had like 3 tumors the size of a golf ball in her head. And it was at any point, it can erupt. It was some kind of aneurysm and stuff like that was going on, but she didn't want to tell me. And then, I got in my feelings about that, but then I had to allow myself to step out the box and think, okay, don't be angry with her, but you have to understand, how would you be able to tell your family or your children that you only have a couple of weeks to live or a couple of months to live. You don't want to throw that burden on them. Everybody knows it's a circle of life that we have to go through, but you can't compare it. You can't prepare anybody for that. So it's just like when I allow myself to, really think about her. I try not to think about, the bad things, but I just think about the things that I did when I took care of her. I used to sing to my mom, give her pedicures and all that. But it was like I would never allow myself to get into my emotions until I knew she was fully asleep, and then I was able to release and cry. I just kept praying to God that, take her pain away, give it to me, and trying to do, just trying to, ease that pain for her, because it was like I was really seeing her suffer for a long time. So I was able to read her energies. I wasn't knowing what I was doing, and it really had me overwhelmed to the fullest. And going through all these different things in my life, it really has showed me how much strength I have. I would never want anybody to, you know, know what that feels like, or the things that I've gone through. That's something I'm very selfish with. I never want anybody to ever know what that pain endured like, between my situation with my mom and the one I'm dealing with now. Because I'm allowing myself to go through that every day, just to be able to heal my heart in ways that it truly needs. Losing a parent is a lot. If your parents has passed away, that pain. There'll be days you'll sit there and laugh and, think about the good things. And that's what they want you to remember. When they're looking out for us, they always want you to remember the good times. They never want you to think about the times where they were transitioning, or, if your parents died from an illness. They don't want you to think about those times. They want you to cherish the times you had that really brought both of y'all joy, and happiness. And, my mom was very happy for that, and it was just like she always knew I was special like that. The only person I can actually be, honest with about that, because she always told me it was like after a certain time, she's like, "You don't speak about the things you used to speak about." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she knew, but she didn't know that, her ex-husband had made me go to a therapist to shut all that stuff off. So it was like when certain things were, said, or certain things would come on TV or something, especially anything that pertained to my dad or anything, I had like an emptiness feeling, like there was something that was craving for me to give attention, but it hurt me because I didn't understand why was I feeling this way. Like I needed to know something about that situation. And now it's like, since the transition is happening, since this took place, my mom knows. And, she went a happy camper about all the things that he done to me, and I always hear her saying, now I know the truth on why you acted the way you did, why, if certain things came about your dad, you would have this blankness, like it was something that you voided out, but then it brought that sadness, because you were trying to understand why you felt these emotions, but it was shut off at the same time. It's kind of hard to, describe, but it's like, you're sad, but it's like an emptiness because you don't know why you're sad, and it's just like all the things that has transpired into my life, even though there are certain things that, I have emotions about, because that's anybody who has lost a parent, but just being able to know it was like deception, in that way that people lied just to make sure they cut off that contact with me and my dad. It took me a lot of time, a long time, to try to make peace with that and try to be able to grasp the concept of what happened. Because a lot of times when I'm going through what I go through, it feels surreal to me. Like, I know the people that I loved and cared for did not keep me away from my dad. Not just keeping me away from my dad, but my biological mom. You lied to keep them both away from me, and then you asked for money and you lived off of that. That was something that, you know it was hard to wrap my head around that a person that's supposed to care about you would do that. And then being able to understand, even though I don't understand, but I do understand at the same time, I had to be able to experience the ultimate deception that you can place a person through at a young age like that, and still try to help others find peace as I'm finding peace within myself to heal from that. When you're able to help people and you endured the worst pain possible that you could ever go through, and you always made it say, I don't know what I wanted to do. I don't know how I was going to do it, but I just want to make sure that people that has to deal with certain things like I have can find that peace and love within themselves. And I just didn't know how I was going to do that. And then I see what I went through now. There's no pain I can ever compare to what I went through with that, because it's like you're not getting that closure. You're not, you're forcing yourself to have a peace of mind without knowing what happened, why, and well, I know why, but being able to understand who is going to be held responsible for taking my dad's life. He was a very loved person. I know there are certain people that, didn't have nice things to say about him, but there was also a lot of people that had a lot of nice things to say about him. And, all these things is taking place in my life, and I just try to find peace when I can listen to the music he's, wrote about me and his connection, or see my dad in different concerts and stuff like that on YouTube or whatever, and be able to find peace with that. And at times I can, but then there's times that it just has me that peaceful like that, not peaceful but painful reminder of something I've always wanted so bad to be able to do. And that's something that I had no choice but to come to terms with. I'm at that point where I'm tired of crying, you know, um, being able to try to find a peace of mind through all that has happened, and just knowing that he's always there spiritually. But at times it gets to that point where I just cry, and I try not to. But I guess that's anybody who's lost a parent. But I can at least say that God has blessed me to still be able to listen to the music that He's wrote about, us, or just music. And whenever He was talking about, it's always he always felt like he was a musical genius. That's what they used to always call him. And knowing he had did a lot of good things in his life. I'm hearing a lot of other beautiful things that I love to hear. I hate it when people talk bad about my dad, but then being able to hear somebody that he didn't even know, and they were struggling with their medical bills, and he discreetly paid this man's debt of his hospital bills. I forgot who it was, but I was just like, Dad, you're so awesome, because you do things from the kindness of your heart, and it's not, he's not doing it just for everybody to know about it. He just does it because he felt like that's what he wanted to do. So it's just like being able to see that part of him and feel that part of him. It makes me love him more for that, and then I understand why I've done that to done that for other people. It's like when I do that, I love what I do. I don't have to be, doing that and having the world to see. And it's not about, dumping on anybody else that actually does videos like that, because I really feel like it's beautiful for you to be able to play it forward when you're being able to be financially blessed like that, be able to help other people, because it shows other people, if you're blessed like that, help people out. It's just like a lot of times we pray for certain things to be in our lives, but then when we finally get it, you forget where you came from, or all those things that you said you were going to do if you ever got into that blessing, you done turned your back on it. And those are the things, you know, you have to, it's like kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like sometimes people feel like, okay, reason why they're doing good things for this, they want people to give them all the credit, or them, you know, doing all these different things for those people. But then on the other hand, it's showing how beautiful, even though there's people videotaping people killing each other, or, you know, fighting and stabbing other folks, but they're also making videos of them lending a helping hand towards other people, to be able to be that blessing for somebody. Because a lot of times we try to understand why we have to go through things in our lives, but we don't realize that sometimes we go through things just for you to be able to help somebody else struggle for what the things they're going through as well. So a lot of times I feel like, even though this personally happened to me, it wasn't about me. It was about me being able to share the experience of the things I went through. Just be able to allow people to know, even though there's hellish people out there in the world and people do some very hateful things, there's always room for love throughout all that. You don't have to be like that person that done things to you. You don't have to project out towards others that didn't deserve that, or even to the people that has done that to you. You have to be better than that. You have to rise above all that. You know, that's why we're here. These are the reasons why we're going through things. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be able to find that peace, because we're so busy working on that memory, repeating it into ourselves, you know, for things that has transpired in our lives, about what people do know that you choose to be vocal about, or things that you still deal with behind closed doors. You know, you have to be able to find that peace in your heart. And at times it's hard, especially if it's somebody that you trust, that you would never have thought they would do things like that to you. Trust me, I know. You know, and I had to allow myself to understand, you know, these people that did these things to me, they showed me they were mad because they knew there was something inside of me that was very beautiful, that was very sacred, and they wanted to violate that in every way possible. You know, they did not want me to know who I was. They tried to break me from what I really was to suit what they wanted others to see about me, because that's what they wanted to see, because they were threatened by that. And all now I can do is just look at it, even though it was very hurtful. You know, I can't allow that anger to cloud what I'm trying to do. You know, and it took me a long time to say that, because I mean, if you've been with me for a while and you see my movies, I mean, not my movies, but my videos I've done when I first started, I was dealing with a lot of pain. I was dealing with a lot of anger. You know, and at times I still feel like I'm dealing with pain, you know, but I try not to allow that to go through with anger, because that allows me to know that I'm just like them. You know, because I've seen that, well, I didn't see, but I've known the things from what they had told me about what their parents did to them. And just when they talked about it, you can still feel that anger that they had left over from what you know, they done, and they're dead and gone, you know, they're still letting the people of the dead still carry their power. You know, they still feel like they're doing that, but they're not doing it towards them because they're no longer here, but they want to do it towards somebody that they were extremely jealous of. You know, there was things that, you know, my mom's ex-husband seen me do that you couldn't have no explanations on me having the gift to be able to help others. And, you know, he always seen that as a mental illness. Like, you can't be doing that. You can hurt somebody can get mad at you, you know, all these different things. Don't you ever do that again, you know, especially when I was like, this woman was about to kill herself after work because it was coming up to her son's anniversary, and her son was murdered. I didn't know that, but I was able to tell her, describe everything to her. She knew there was no way of me knowing it. Described her son to a T, and all that, you know. And being able to know I was able to do that, it made me feel very good. You know, I haven't had it happen for me for a long time until I started on this journey. And that was when I first moved here, and that was like back in 2012. That happened to me, and I mean, it blew me away. Did that happen? Because I didn't know, but I knew I was going to find out something about what happened in this incident, but didn't know I was going to see it on the news, you know. And then, you know, everybody came in the house, and my kids were like, Mom, you know, that woman you helped, she's on TV. And I'm like, looking, I'm like, oh, okay. And then didn't know that was, you know, that day she's talked about it, because they still haven't found out who killed her son. You know, she was there. And it was like his anniversary of when he got murdered, you know. So it's just like all the things that has transpired into my life. You know, I've been able to know I've been doing this gift of Qawaq. And being able to know it gets stronger by the time, that I'm allowing myself to be free and just being open to knowledge, open to growth, or open to forgiveness, understanding, getting a peace of mind. you know, being able to do that, it took a long time for me to do. And there's sometimes I sit here and cry because I allowed myself to really heal, and I didn't know if I was going to ever be able to do that, because it was just like I had to find out who the truth and the identity of my dad after he passed. And it was like, then when that came out, all these other things that was, they made sure I couldn't remember, came back. And that almost put me in rare form, like very, like I was seeing red. I was blacking out. And being able to have to find out something like that, and you still didn't creep over to the dark side, was a blessing on many levels to me, because it is just like, you know, being able to go through something like that and not do some criminal minded stuff, you know, I feel like I'm blessed for that. Because any other person, I really felt like any other person would have had that happen to you. And knowing, somebody kept you away for financial purposes for them to be able to live comfortably, I think any other person would have probably either killed the people that did that, was held responsible, or end up killing themselves because they didn't want to feel that pain of knowing this is what happened. And I've done neither one. And there's times that I did not. I was close. I ain't even gonna lie. I was close to acting on impulse, but I kept on having that spiritual assistance and telling me, Roslynn, you're so much bigger than what they placed on you. Not everything is what it seems. Don't allow yourself to hurt somebody because of what they hurt you with. That makes you no better than them. And at that point, I really didn't give a rat's ass, but then I had to allow myself to know, you'll be okay. You just have to allow yourself to find that peace in your life. And I know it's hard, for you to have to find the truth like that. But being able to use this to be vocal about the experiences I've endured, for so many years, for that. And then being able to see where I am right now, it has really allowed me to know I'm stronger more than I'm very strong that even give myself credit for, because I allowed myself to be drowned in the world of sadness, disappointment, abuse, and stuff like that. I had to allow myself to yank myself out of that, because it's just being able to know that the outcome of everything that's taking place in my life, and being able to know that these people that I'm connecting with it because of this situation, it makes somewhat for this situation a little bit easier to deal with. Being able to see that people shares my dad's videos or the songs, or they've met him, and all that gives me peace beyond everything. Just being able to know that my dad made music and it eased somebody's heart, and that made me really, it made me feel better about a lot of things, just to be able to know that they carried that love for him like that. So it's just like it allows my journey to be a little bit easier, even though, there's closure. I got more questions than I do answers. But I have to allow myself to know when it's meant for me to know it will. The things that's been done to me, it's not in vain. Nobody got away with anything. When God sees fit for that to come out, it's going to come out, you know. Even though people are trying to work overtime to make sure that doesn't, you can't do something very dirty like that to somebody and thinking it's not, nobody's not going to find out about it. Or it's just the way you're doing things and not a loving way, but you're trying to cheat and rob, you know, certain things and manipulate the system. And sooner or later, that stuff does come out. And I just have to allow myself to pray every day, to allow myself to have that peace in my heart as well as in my mind, parting ways with the things that are no longer in use or need any use for, and letting go of the things that's been done to me, not allowing that to rob me of my blessing, not allowing that to rob me of my peace of mind and the love that I carry, that I have to really be peaceful with. So, when you're going through your things, allow that to be your motivation to feel better. Allow that to be your motivation to heal where it needs to be healed at. And allow yourself to move on. And it's like when you're allowing yourself to let go of all that pain, that's when the healing begins. That's when your growth begins. And I know it's hard to do that, especially if something's been done to you and you feel like you haven't had justice served for you. I get it. I totally get it. But you have to allow yourself to put that same energy in that you want to seek justice. You have to be able to allow yourself to heal where it needs to be healed at. When I've seen being a witness of seeing that on the outside, I prayed for those people. I was watching this it was this crime channel on YouTube, and it was this guy. I guess he was like either from India or Pakistan. He was working at a pizza joint, and he was, dropping off a pizza and getting ready to get back in a car, and this black guy shot him and ended up killing him, robbing him for the money that he had on him. And during his sentencing, the parents came back in and prayed with the guy who killed their son and said, we don't have any hate against you. My son is no longer suffering. He's in a peaceful place. That boy broke, because it was just like he told the parents of the boy who killed him, it's like, we both lost the son, because now your son is about to do time for killing my son, and it's like your son's died, like his life is ended, and it's going to be behind bars. And even the judge and the bailiffs and them start crying like, dang, God's really looking out for you, and that really hit me, because it's like, these people has took their only son away. That's the only child they had, and it was just like, it'll be easy to be mad at you. It'll be easy to seek vengeance on you. But what does that serve? Because it's not going to bring my son back. As soon as I said that, notification came up. It's like you getting back at people, especially if it's somebody who's passed away, and it's hard to seek peace and, contentment through that. But when you seek vengeance on the people that have done things to you, that makes you no better than what they are. And that's what I had to tell myself. You're nothing like those people that placed you in the situation you are. Their heart is full of coal. That has the ice box there where the heart is. It's supposed to be. But I had to allow myself to be better than that. Not allowing what, the things out in the world make me a better person, or see things through angry eyes. I had to allow myself to make peace with that. There's times that I sit up here and miss the physical sense of my dad. He's like, stop missing me. I'm always here. You can talk to me anytime you want, and it is being comforting, but it's still not the same, but I have to allow myself to make peace with that, um, and I know better days are coming for me. They're coming right now. I feel like every day that I can be able to wake up just to be blessed to see another day, that I know the universe is not finished with me yet. And it makes me feel peace when I'm able to help others struggle with their sadness and things that they have endured throughout life. That they're really, y'all are really eager to receive that clarity and that love and peace in your heart. That's what you deserve, because it's when we constantly dwell on things that has happened in our past. It's like we can't change that, but we can change how we can look at everything that has happened to us. It's not saying that, what you went through, you need to be looking and say you're happy that you went through it, but just being able to know you can think about what you've been through, and being able to know you're better than what has happened to you. That pain will turn it around and be your blessing, because you're allowing yourself to not be stuck on that. Because when you're allowing yourself to be stuck and angry about that, and I tell myself that the same, you're giving that situation power, and you're taking your happiness away because of certain things that has taken place in your life that is, that set you on a path, but you can't change it. You can't change how those people are, or that situation, that certain things that place you in. You can just change about how you go on for the rest of your life, but don't allow yourself to cheat yourself on happiness over something you cannot change. You can just, that situation was supposed to change you for the better, not for that situation to be able to eat you up. It's all about what you choose to allow yourself to do, and what you choose to reflect to, view it, focus on, and the energy you place in it. So this is my last video. I said I want to try to do about 4 or 5 more, but it's like I've been having to take a few minute breaks after every video I have, because I got so many downloads in my head right now, and it's just like, trying to be able to, mask that so y'all don't get it. It gets kind of hard, and it makes me drain out more than what I usually do, just to allow myself to be open in spirit for whatever I got to talk about. But I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video. It gave you some kind of peace of mind. I know all of us are going through really hard times, and we're really trying to understand, what to get out of this path that we're on. But, and you're allowing yourself, even though it's hard at times, you're allowing yourself to try to heal from the things that has transpired into your life. Allow that to be your focus point. Allowing yourself to be happy, seek for happiness, because what you seek, you end up becoming. So keep working towards your happiness, keep working on your peace, because that's what you're going to be becoming. And then you'll start feeling it, and those are the good things that you need to do. So I hope you are able to resonate with the content of my video. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, tell somebody about the channel. They may be interested. Drop a line. I would love to give you a post notification shout out. And if this is your first time at my channel, welcome. It's so good to have you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the support. And know you are truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved, and knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. And I pray that everything that you're trying to heal from, you get the assistance and have the vibrations of love shower and overtower whatever that's keeping you unhappy and not at peace. So whatever you're trying to, manifest into your life, I hope it comes 100,000 times more than what you asked for, and comes way sooner than you expected it to. Make sure you give out love, light, positivity, as well as prosperity, love, vibes, frequency, and words. You never know, those things can really take somebody a long way. If you want to hit me up on the side, you're not comfortable with sharing your situation, what you're going through, but you would like to contact me, you can find me on Facebook under Messenger. You can send me a short text to let me know what your situation is that you needed assistance with on your spiritual path. You can find me under my name. I'm Pacific Standard Time, so you can contact me between 10 o'clock in the morning all the way until 10:30. Nothing before or after that. If you're overseas, those times don't apply to you. I'm talking about anybody who's in the US of A. So everything is confidential. You don't have to worry about it coming out, but I'll try to help you out as best as I can. So I will see you on my next video. Much love to you. Peace. Be well.